Hey everyone, this is Authentic Hustle 31, I suppose.
I don't know. What show is this?
More than 30.
Welcome.
What show are we listening to?
31. 31. Welcome
31.
to Authentic Hustle 31, everyone. Those like 2 listeners are now like 5 listeners. So 5 people are tuning in,
Wow.
seems like,
Let's
from
go.
industry
Right.
reports. So
We're
thank
gonna-
you, all those like 5 people. So we have increased by 3 people.
We might actually be famous. I don't know if you know that.
Hi, Mom.
And like, please welcome to the show. Welcome Colin, the amazing Colin, and the amazing Kelly. Welcome to the show. And they're wearing something very interesting today from the club, from the Catalyst Club. Go check out their t-shirt. Like
Catalyst Club shirts on. Repping for the
Check-
home.
Repping the
check
brand.
it out. Check out KellyKennedyOfficial.com. So yeah, you'll find a lot of interesting stuff. So what are we doing today? Are we going to spin the wheel?
Spin that wheel.
So. I think so, right? Like that's what we love to do. We love to just have the randomness to the show. So yeah, let's spin it. Let's see what we got.
Let's do it. So
And
yeah, 30 shows.
30 shows. Guys, like first off, congratulations on being show 31. That's freaking cool.
Yeah. And it's Kelly's turn to pick.
Is it? Oh man.
I think VJ picked last week.
It was VJ last time. So
And that was the week before.
Okay, VJ,
Yeah.
give me something good to pick.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Okay. Do we see the screen okay?
Yep. Hit it.
All right. 3 topics. Do you have a lead generation problem or a conversion problem? Great question. Is audio enough or do you need video in 25? Okay. Interesting. When should you pivot and when should you double down? Very interesting
wow.
topics. What do you want to pick, Kelly?
Yeah, you know what? I think I want to tackle because I think that everybody assumes we need video in 2025, and it is simply not the case. I am picking, is audio enough or do you need video in 2025?
Got it. Let's go. It's audio or do you need video in 2025? Good. Great topic.
I knew you'd love this one.
Oh, man. So it's one of those things, guys, that I'm actually super, super passionate about. And what I teach with regards to podcasting is that you friggin' don't need video. I think that's like really important for people to realize here. VJ, you went video from the beginning. Gordon Shepard went video from the beginning. I think Jillian Shecker also did video from the beginning. So we're seeing a lot of these newer podcasters, not new for you, but some of the other newer ones who are hitting video from the very beginning. And, for those of you who know the Business Development Podcast, we've been an audio show since 2023. I launched as an audio show. We continue to be an audio show. Authentic Hustle, obviously, is a video show that we're doing. But I've kept the Business Development Podcast an audio show. And my argument behind an audio show, and I talk about this actually in the podcast playbook series. So for those of you listening to this and you're like, I love podcasting, or I have a podcast, or I want to start a podcast, literally making a podcast playbook series on the Business Development Podcast is going to be 11 parts. So you want in-depth? I give you in-depth from start to finish on how to launch your business or just general podcast. Part 1 kind of leads more towards business, but if you continue to go down the path, it really does apply to any podcast you want to start. So if you want to start a podcast, that's the place to do it. But I talk about it there, VJ. And I talk about it in depth, and I talk about audio and why it's important. And I think people go to different platforms for different things. And I actually talk about it in marketing as well. Like, where do you want to market your show? You want to get people where they are listening. And you have to think about the way that people consume podcasts. As much as people are trying to push that like YouTube is like the place people consume podcasts, I disagree. I disagree heavily. Spotify and Apple Podcasts is where people listen to podcasts. And once again, where people listen to podcasts, right? It's different than video content. When I'm watching video content, I actually want to watch a video. I want to watch like an action scene, or like I like this like silly show on YouTube called Battle 360. It's like old school World War II. Battleship Enterprise is kind of cool to learn the story of it. But I love watching the visuals on that. But for me, I'm getting a story and I'm watching TV, basically, right? But when I'm listening to a podcast, I think about, where do I listen to a podcast as a busy professional? I listen to it at bedtime. I listen to it when I'm mowing the lawn. I listen to it when I'm driving on a road trip, right? Or I listen to it when I'm doing horrible data entry, which we all hate.
Right.
But the
Yeah.
point is,
Yeah, true.
I listen to it while doing something else. Almost all of my podcast consumption is listening to a podcast while doing something else, not watching. I can't watch a podcast and do something else. I'm sorry. I'm just not capable. I can listen to it. So I think it's important, especially when you're marketing your podcast or when you're considering who might be consuming it, especially if you're a business show, that it's very likely that your show is being consumed by somebody while they are doing something else. That being the case, an audio show is perfect. It's actually perfect. And my argument as well with audio, and VJ, we've had this conversation, is that me and you both know video production is hard. It's labor intensive. Not only do you got to get the audio right, you got to get the video right, you got to get all the cuts right, you got to add your intros and your outros and your visuals, and
No kidding.
it's a lot of work. Like, it takes me like 20 minutes just to make my like intro clip for my guest episodes for LinkedIn. Like, it's like 30 seconds to a minute long video, right? Like, it takes a lot of time to make great video. However, it does also take time to make great audio, but I would make the argument that as a newer podcast, as a show, an audio show, you have the ability to probably produce shows 2 to 3 times the rate of a video show. And in a world where the amount of content that you have really matters, like you guys know, my view on content is you can't have too much. You really can't. There can't be enough of your face or your voice out there on the internet. And so if that's the rules, if we live in a time where like you can't have enough great content, but you have to get content out at a certain speed, you really can't beat an audio podcast for high quality, great content at a rapid pace. And I would say, VJ, a big part of the success of the Business Development Podcast to this day is the fact that we've been able to release 2 shows a week for the last nearly 3 years. And we've absolutely cornered the market on business development. Like, there isn't a business development show even close to us. So, and I couldn't have done it without putting out 2 shows a week. And I couldn't have done 2 shows a week if I did video. So my argument is there's still a lot of room for audio podcasts.
Okay,
No,
so go ahead.
Colin. No, go ahead.
I just had one question. As an interviewee, I haven't hosted a podcast, but I think the way I look at it is if I'm listening to an interview podcast, that may be something that I'm attracted to. I want to see the people when they're conversing, as opposed to a singular podcast, right? Like, say I'm listening to the BDP, or if VJ, you had it wasn't called Pathfinders, it was Pathfinder, right? It was just you.
Right.
I you know what I mean? I could listen to that while I'm driving, while I'm doing whatever. So I think there's a place for both for sure. And I enjoy both, but I do think the strength comes in where you're listening to it. And that's the big one. How can I click on and just keep playing it?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, like video, right? Like if you're listening to a video show, you're probably listening to it on YouTube. Would that be a fair argument to make?
Yeah.
Different platforms for different things, right? And I talk about that in marketing. Like, in my show today, my part 9 talks about how do you market a podcast. And what I ultimately talked about in there is that you want to market where people are. Like, you can market your show on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and you guys know it. Like, the BDP's up everywhere. We have it everywhere. But I also recognize that my followers on LinkedIn and my followers on Instagram are not necessarily watching or listening to the Business Development Podcast. Like, they may like the short form content I put on LinkedIn and they may follow me for that. They may like that, but that is not a listener. That is not a listener of the show. And I think it's really important that we consider where people are listening when we market to them. So if you want more people to listen to your podcast, don't market to them on Instagram. Don't market to them on LinkedIn. Market to them where they listen. Try and get ads on them on Spotify, on YouTube, where they're already consuming that material, because that is going to work. And not only are you going to get a real person following your show, they'll probably become a long-term listener. So it's important that we are understanding how our shows are being consumed. Is it a video show? Is it being consumed on YouTube? Is it an audio show being consumed on Apple Podcasts or Spotify? And make sure that we're not wasting marketing dollars on the wrong platforms, which, like, if you don't really think deeply about it, you might think that if you market on Instagram and someone clicks your Business Development Podcast image that they are going to listen to your show. That's not true. It's a big jump to get them to go from Instagram to Spotify.
Right.
Right.
Like they're on Instagram to look at pictures or do whatever, or on LinkedIn to communicate with other business people. It's a big ask to ask them to jump from that to listening to your show on Spotify. However, it's not a big jump if your Spotify ad pops up on Spotify and says, listen to my show, because they're already listening. It's an easy move. So you got to think about that when you're marketing and growing shows as well.
100%. When I got started with Pathfinders, and of course, Kelly's inspiration, I've told this a million times. I'll keep saying it. But when I started, my entire the COVID era, that period, I probably lived through watching podcasts.
Yeah.
I like to consume it in both formats. If I'm in a gym or driving, I definitely like the audio format because I'm driving. My eyes better be on the road, not on the show. But I love that. But when I'm at home, watching it on TV or on the phone, otherwise, I do like the video format in terms of watching what Joe Rogan is saying. What is PBD saying in terms of
Sure.
I like to observe their reactions and how they react to certain conversations. And I like the drama aspect of it in a way. And maybe that drew me to being a video show from the very beginning. But Kelly and I have spoken a lot about podcasting, even offline. And I was, as quote unquote, educated, hey, dude, so I understood the value of being in multiple platforms. Spotify is probably the number one place to listen to the podcast. You know why? Because it's in both formats. Okay. You can switch off the video format, or you can be in the audio format. Yeah. Let's say you're watching it. Okay, now I got to go pick up the kids. I got to be on the car, right? So it instantly automatically goes from transitions itself from video to audio. If you're not on Wi-Fi, it goes to audio by default. So I haven't seen that kind of a feature on any other app. So Spotify is the best place to listen to a podcast, to all our shows, right? So that's something. But I do like the video in terms of watching it. But guys, Kelly's absolutely right in terms of the time it takes to produce a show. It takes 15 to 17 hours for a Pathfinder show to be produced.
Wow.
And no kidding at all. It's a lot of time. It is a lot of time. No kidding. Yeah.
Yeah. And in comparison, probably takes 4 to 5 hours to produce an interview BDP show. So 3 to 1, right? 3 to 1.
Right.
So when you look at it from that standpoint, it's a big difference. It's a big difference. And in a world where the amount of content you have really matters. I see a lot of people out there trying to say oh no, you only need to post twice a week or whatever. My argument is absolutely not. You need to get as much content as fast as humanly possible and make sure it's still high quality. If you figure out how to balance that stool, and you're going to have an incredible channel, whatever you're building. Because we really do live in a time where more is more. That's my argument. More is more. Right. It doesn't hurt to have more. It does hurt to have less. So if that's the rules of this new world, maybe you are Patrick Bet-David and you have $10 million to throw at your podcast every single year and a full production team who can pump out a video a day. Fine. He can do it. Most of us can't. And I think you got to look at it from that standpoint is, how do you get the most content you possibly can within your available budget? And I think for most of us, don't overlook the power of audio, especially in 2025 and beyond. Podcasts are still absolutely taking off, and Spotify is still the number one podcast player on earth, I believe, at this time. I know for the BDP, 90% of our listens come from Spotify.
Okay. Something I don't know. I'm just wondering. So say you're on a social media platform, right? Say Instagram or one of those things, Facebook.
Yeah.
Posting on there. The algorithm has to come into play as well, right? So more content is better because if you have one video scrolling through there and it's not in somebody's feed, it's not in your feed, my feed, the next feed, that type of thing. I don't know how to speak to that, but as much as I've read about algorithms too, is you can just be out, right? Yeah. Nobody's going to find you, right? Just because there's not enough content there. In the content thing, I've really been honing in on it as well, because you get a little afraid of, am I putting out too much? Am I saying too much? Am I in their face? Maybe I'm in your face, but I'm probably not in everybody's face, right? So we have to stop worrying about the one, right? And start looking if trying to what's your audience or who's your audience. The only way you're going to get there is by doing more, right?
Yeah.
And producing more and posting more. And I don't think there's enough out there as it is in what I'm looking for. So if I can encourage anybody, don't be afraid to post. Don't be afraid to create content. Just create more and more and more and more, and let it out there. Like Kelly said, if you only did one every 3 months or whatever, you're lost, right? They're not going to find you. And the thing is too, you're not going to have, I guess the name of the game is followers, right? How do you get followers? Well, nobody's going to follow one episode.
Yeah.
Right? It's one and done. So
Yeah. And oh, sorry, Vijay, go ahead.
No, I was just like saying like there was one moment in episode like where LinkedIn was started actively promoting videos because it was transitioning from the text format to also include videos, right?
Yes.
And we were right around like our third or fourth episode at the time, and we started posting. There was one clip that clip alone did like 600,000 views,
Wow.
600 or 700,000 views, just one clip,
Wow.
right? And I was wondering what, like, and the next clip like was like 350,000 views and like whatnot, and it was amazing to see that, and that kind of kept the momentum going. Oh wow, I got to do more video, and like, but I see the benefit of doing both, even though it's just hard. I see the benefit because I think people are also craving to be entertained and stimulated, like intellectually. I think
well, they're
that's why
hungry.
they come and they're hungry for new information. And I'm tired of sometimes watching documentaries because documentaries like probably 5 years old information, and they're trying to spin it again. And so podcast is where like a month of reading, you can probably grasp it in probably a couple hours. So that's powerful. So whatever medium you're consuming it, keep doing it. So we want more people to consume our content. So
Yeah.
Well,
sure.
so
let me maybe clarify something here, because I feel like I'm not just ragging on video. Like, this is a video show. We wouldn't do it if I didn't think it worked.
Right.
Video absolutely does work. However, I'm just kind of suggesting that for podcasts, like I'm very much talking podcasts. Okay, there's definitely just video content, which is super, super powerful. I put out 2 videos this morning.
Right.
Video content. But the reality is that with a podcast, with long form content, in my opinion, the long form version should be audio, and the short form content should be video clips. So as you guys know, like with this show and with the business development podcast, I still release clips. I record the whole thing. I still release clips from the series. But in my mind, the clips should just show you maybe a highlight or two of like what's going on, enough to make people be like, you know what? I think I actually want to pick that up on Spotify later and continue that conversation. It should be there to build interest in what you do. But just like great advertising, we have to build interest to get them to open the book, right? You got to have a beautiful cover or they're not going to look at the brochure. Think about it like a podcast is the same way. You still want to give them something great to entice them, which really could be that clip or that video snippet, right? Which gives them that. But then it's like, if you want to catch the whole show, catch us on your way home. Like, listen to the whole episode on your way home, or at the gym tonight, or while you're mowing the lawn, right? Like, that is, in my mind, the quintessential value of a podcast, is truly to be able to listen to an engaging audio content while doing something else. If you add the video aspect to it in full, now you're watching TV. It's not a podcast anymore.
that's right.
But I would love, like, I mean, once again, I'm just opinionated. I'm just a little bit opinionated on it, as that's always how I've done it. And actually spoken with many, many, many podcasting experts as well along the way, who kind of felt the same way, but also saw the trends shifting, right? I mean, Vijay, I'd love to have your opinion, because you put in that 15 hours to do the video show. You take the time, you produce a beautiful show, by the way. Yourself and Gordon Shepherd both puts out incredible, incredible video shows. Talk to me a little bit about that. Do you feel, and like, once again, just from your standpoint, do you feel that you get the best value from doing that video show? Or do you think that potentially a hybrid model, like an audio model with clips, like I talked about, might be better for the future of Pathfinders? I'd love to have maybe your opinion, because you've gone a completely different route than I did.
We are doing all three. We are doing clips, we are doing video, and we're doing audio. I think maybe that's the reason why it takes so much time, because we have started putting out more shorts on YouTube and Instagram, and also on other places like X and LinkedIn, the Pathfinders page. So we started doing that, and video has always been there. Previously, we used to post video on both YouTube and Spotify, but now I restrict only to YouTube, because if you want to watch a video, people know it's YouTube, so it kind of like they know it. And yeah, I mean, like every show I produce, I'm super proud to produce the show, and like happy to share it, and then people coming back with great comments. Hey, I loved watching the show, or I had a great time listening to it. So I love that aspect of it, in terms of like one is like the reason I think Colin and the reason we are doing in this format, as I think as people, we are curious to probably learn, and like how can we inspire other people. I think that's where our journey is taking us forward. So I'm super curious about learning from everyone. Like the recent show with Mike Mack, amazing show.
Yeah.
The wealth. I mean, I haven't had such a strong leadership show in the last, like, I mean, there were amazing leaders, but like Mike Mack he's spent an entire career speaking to leaders, writing about leaders, about 5 books on leadership. Amazing show it was. So I learned a lot, like just sitting through it. So I think people are finding it super valuable, consuming it, the content the way it is. So yeah, I'm just like super proud and happy to keep doing it as long as I can.
Yeah. Shout out to Mike Mack, by the way.
Yeah.
Incredible individual. Y'all also an Edmontonian, so we'll just shut that. Yeah, no, I know. I like I said, I think they all have their place, right? I think they all have their place, just like this show has its place, right? We will eventually make Authentic Hustle a podcast, specifically an audio one. We haven't done so yet. It's on the roadmap. It's on the path.
Coming soon.
But originally the idea with this was, let's try a live show, which fun. I don't think we're live again, which is super annoying.
I think it's if we are.
Riverside, get it together.
Are we not? Oh my goodness.
Shows we're on my end. Are we not?
Oh, well, it shows we're live, but I don't think we are. I went on LinkedIn and I didn't see it go live, so it's annoying.
Oh.
Honestly, Riverside, love you guys, but get this sorted. Love it for the videos,
Riverside.
but come on, the live. You need to do some work there. But yes, we wanted to try a live situation. We just wanted to try it. And it's been a lot of fun. Like, the reality is we don't get paid for this. Like, this is just like something fun we do every Wednesday. We've had a blast doing it 31 weeks in a row now, evolving every time. But, basically every time I get to show up here and have this conversation, I look forward to it. So for us, this is just kind of like an entertainment thing. And we wanted to try the live thing and see how it works. And so we do this in a video. But the reality is, I do think, guys, long term, this show will actually do better as an audio podcast than it does on the lives or the videos. And I think we'll be able to prove it probably within about 6 months.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I mean, I'm still I like the live format of it. It doesn't have to be live. We could not do live as well. But yeah, it's a different format of the show. I think we are all doing podcasts already, so why not do a live show? And
Totally.
I think another point I wanted to add, like I just didn't speak about it. This is also being available on multiple platforms. I think that does help. Spotify is number one. Great. But what about other countries? What are people consuming? Maybe Apple is number one in the US. I mean, maybe Good Pods is number one in other countries. So if you want to reach a wider audience, be in more platforms, I think that was a moment, I think Kelly and I spoke about it in detail. And then that drove me to publish in more other platforms. So I definitely do consider that, especially for the audio form.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the reality of a podcast is you're not local, right? Like that's the best thing about it. Like every single day you're listened to in probably 50 to 100 countries worldwide, which is the beauty of a podcast. Like I don't even think television can do that most of the time.
Bro. And when I'm putting out releasing an episode, you can actually give go-to links to in the description, and there's a ton of advertisements and whatnot. So it's everywhere. Right, it's at least now show I don't know 15 or 20 platforms now, so it's going everywhere. And I think the moment people search it, and internet is going to pick it up. So that I think it's super powerful. I think it's currently podcasting is super underrated. Is what I think. It still is underrated.
Yeah. Like people have not realized the power of this thing yet. They will, which
They
is
will.
why I built the podcast playbook series, because I know I'm going to catch about 100 million people as they head into the future. But they will.
Yeah.
I guess the point of this was to ask what our thoughts were with regards to audio podcasts. Is video better than audio in 2025, or is audio still relevant? My argument would be 180,000%. Audio is super, super relevant. I actually think the reality is my show proves it. At the end of the day, we had 700 downloads yesterday, 780 downloads the day before. We're en route today for another 800 downloads. This is an audio only show, guys. Like this is podcasting. People listen. People will listen. And my argument as well with video would be this, and I'd love to have your take on this, guys, in the last 5 minutes, would be that I know with my kids as an example, they really struggle with like long form video content. Like I can't get them to sit and watch a movie unless they're like tired or something, like they are just not going to sit and watch that. However, they'll sit and watch like YouTube shorts all day long. I got to kick them off the couch, right? Like I feel like we're being wired, like as millennials, Gen Zs, Gen Alphas, they're really being wired to like watch shorter and shorter and shorter content. However, they will listen to a whole podcast, believe it or not. My kids will sit in a car and they'll listen to an entire story. So I don't know how relevant this is. I have no science to back this, but I think that while we are being programmed to watch shorter and shorter video, our ability to listen to a story is still strong as ever.
Well, it is, and I think that's the whole premise of TikTok, is real short stories or videos or clips or whatever that may be. But if you're ever scrolling, right, that reminds me of a story I got to tell you. There's always people walking their dogs when I'm walking my dog, and they're allowed to. Let me just clear.
Are they?
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, why are all these people out here? And
Get off my path.
I saw this person. She was walking her dog and she tripped on the curb because she was scrolling, right, on her phone. And I'm like, the poor dog, right? Like she was not even paying attention. And then I said to my wife, I'm just going to say from now on, I'm going out for a scroll. Right? Not a stroll. I'm going for a scroll. Right?
That's our future, man. It's only going to get worse.
If you look out there, but that's, who knows what they're on, right?
Yeah.
But it's flip, 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 flip. So, my whole point is I think it's important to have those videos, right? The shorts, whatever they may be. Or on the other hand, I like not people watching in a negative way, in a good way. I'm like, okay, that person's walking by themselves. Like we put a lot of kilometers on walking. What are they listening to? I'm always wondering, right? Everybody's got earpods or something on that they're listening to, or they're just listening to it loudly. But that is the power of the podcast. That is the power of the video. Both are important. Yeah. Both people have them in their hands, right? Whether they're out for a scroll or a stroll, right? Or they're just listening, right? I hear people listen to audiobooks as they're, and that's the same to me as a video, right? You could listen to a podcast
totally
as you're walking. So, for me, my summation or summary of it is I think they're both vitally important. And it just depends what demographic you're going after. That matters as well.
Yeah.
But posting like Vijay, I never thought about it till you said, is what country or, other countries are using a different platform as well. Maybe it's Apple, but we don't want to get stuck just going, oh yeah, this is the only one out there because it is not, right?
It is not.
So,
I was looking at observing in the industry from the last 15, 20 years overall. When the Netflix started coming in, YouTube came in and people assumed that, they're not going to read any more books or anything. It's all going to be on the digital format and things like that. And when Shorts came in, not even Shorts, what was the app? Like, I forget what the app was, like the Instagram and the TikTok came in.
Reels.
And the Reels and the attention span was the attention span is now not even 30 minutes or 10 minutes. It's only 5 seconds.
Yep.
Right. And suddenly, right around when I realized around COVID was like people started watching 2-3 hour podcasts. That was like a mind opening thought for me, because like I never thought like people are going to sit and watch a show for 3 hours, because people don't watch a movie. No, they watch like 10 minutes today. They skip it. They watch it after a week. right? They with Netflix and such. So that was a surprise. And I watched like ton of content with podcasting. So I think people are hungry for information and new information, and how it doesn't matter. I think people are still going to continue buying books, continue reading books, continue watching YouTube, continue hearing to podcasts. So it's all going to be there in one way or the other, as long as they are informed and entertained. I think that's what they're coming for.
Yeah. What, like, I mean, obviously, I think I know the take of both of you, but like, what are your views on launching a show in 2025, 2026? Are people too late, or should they be getting on it?
No, I've had people watch it, like launch a show even in 2025, and I think more shows will come in 2026.
Yeah.
I think as long as you are relevant and speaking to the audience, I think the intent matters. I've said this a lot in my post. Intent matters, and as long as your intent aligns, the show will do great. So that's what it is. So that's
Colin?
what I think. So
I agree. I'll be launching my show shortly. So I think it's a good time to let her rip.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And like I said, we talked about it briefly in the beginning, but if you're finding the show and maybe you are looking to launch a podcast or you've been considering it, check out Podcast Playbook Series inside the Business Development Podcast. Yeah. Probably by the time you hear this, we'll be nearly done. It will be done this month completely. And if you have questions, just reach out to me. Happy to help.
All right. Who's going to wrap her up?
All right. So that's the episode number 31, and we're wrapping it right around 31 minutes. So thank you, everyone.
Later.
Later, hustlers. All right.